Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you all here today. Get ready, because we have a truly fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're going to be doing a really unique character study, basically looking at how a single, seemingly isolated childhood incident can literally forge a lifelong passion. We're unpacking the story of Marcus Vance. It's this remarkable narrative about trauma, transformation, and ultimately purpose. We're going to map out exactly how a sudden moment of total vulnerability actually led to an empowering medical career.
Okay, let's dive right into this by dropping into the absolute emotional climax of our story. We're looking at a journal entry written by Marcus Vance. He's 26 years old, and he's writing this on the evening of his very first day as a clinic owner. Just stop and think about the magnitude of that day for a second. He just treated his first patient under his own roof. But in the middle of all that triumph, where does his mind go? It goes straight back to, quote, the kid with the broken tooth who started it all. Now, to understand why this young professional's mind is so anchored in the past, we really need to look at what exactly he's reflecting on today. Section 1. Day 1 at the clinic, a journal entry reflection.
26. Honestly, that is incredibly young to be opening your own practice. Marcus is a newly graduated, 26-year-old, super enthusiastic dentist. He hasn't just joined some massive, established corporate practice. No, he has achieved a massive, life-altering milestone by opening a community clinic. I mean, he's taken on the responsibility of a business, a medical practice, and a community asset, all at an age when a lot of us are still just trying to figure out our basic career path. His entry captures this highly specific, triumphant moment in time, a brand new clinic and that very first patient treated. The source material notes he's feeling this complex, swirling mix of excitement, nerves, and just huge hopes for the future. It's a profound moment of arrival. But it makes you wonder, how did he get here? What pushes someone from a working-class background to achieve this very specific dream so early in life?
Section 2. The broken front tooth, where the passion started.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast right at the heart of our explainer. I want you to imagine Marcus as a vulnerable young boy. He's just suffered this sudden physical injury, a broken front tooth. He is frightened, he's in pain, and his confidence is just suddenly completely shattered. Now compare that kid to Marcus today, a confident, 26-year-old medical professional in modern scrubs, standing in his own high-tech, brightly lit community clinic. The duality here is just stunning. The frightened boy who lost his smile has become this warm, highly trained professional who restores smiles for a living. We call this the broken tooth catalyst. And I really want to stress here, this wasn't just your run-of-the-mill dental emergency. As the source material makes super clear, Marcus grew up working class. When you are a kid from a working class background, a highly visible injury like breaking a front tooth isn't just a medical issue, right? It can be a defining trauma that deeply impacts your social standing and absolutely shatters your self-esteem. It fundamentally changes how you interact with the world around you. But for Marcus, this precise moment of intense vulnerability is exactly what sparked his lifelong interest in dentistry. Section 3. Restoring a smile and confidence. Let's break down the psychological impact of that day. When little Marcus sat in that dental chair, he experienced a 3-step transformation. Step 1, obviously, the clinical act of repairing the physical broken tooth. Step 2, the aesthetic result of restoring his visual smile. But step 3, that is where the real magic happens, completely rebuilding his lost confidence. Fixing the tooth wasn't just some mechanical, medical procedure, it was literally an act of restoring human dignity. He went from wanting to hide his face from the world to feeling whole again. And this leads us to a core realization. Witnessing how fixing his smile completely restored his confidence, this is the exact moment Marcus's interest in becoming a dentist was ignited. He didn't just see a medical procedure that day. He witnessed a superpower. He realized that a dentist actually has the ability to give someone their self-esteem back. Once he saw that, he knew exactly what he wanted to do with the rest of his life.
Section 4. A working class journey.
Let's move along and see how this all builds over time. Tracking his journey chronologically, we start in his childhood with that broken front tooth and the absolute revelation of the restored smile. From there, we jump to his early 20s, navigating the incredibly intense challenges of graduating dental school, which, let's be real, is no small feat for anyone, let alone someone navigating it from a working-class background. And that brings us right up to age 26, culminating in treating his very first patient at his own community clinic. It is a straight, unwavering line driven by just relentless purpose. These traits, they really make up the very DNA of Marcus's character. grew up working class, sparked by personal childhood trauma, driven by incredible enthusiasm and passion, and, crucially, focused on community impact. This explains exactly why he chose to open a community clinic specifically. He isn't out there chasing elite, high-end cosmetic dentistry for the wealthy. No, he wants to be on the ground, serving people who might be just like that working-class kid he used to be, people who desperately need their confidence restored.
Section 5, coming full circle.
So, the crucial point we really have to ask ourselves is, how does a broken tooth actually shape a life's purpose? It's kind of wild to think that a random accident on a playground or a sidewalk can dictate the next 2 decades of a person's life. But for Marcus, that moment of feeling broken, followed by the profound, overwhelming relief of being fixed, well, it created an unbreakable blueprint for his future.
As he writes in his journal prompt, he is actively reflecting on the transition from a kid with a broken tooth to the man who now fixes them. Just think about the beautiful, poetic symmetry of that journey. He has literally crossed the room. He transitioned from the vulnerable patient sitting in the chair, desperately needing help, to the confident healer standing beside the chair, providing it.
Let's conclude the narrative arc of his journal entry with this thought. I'm filled with nerves and excitement, but looking at my first patient, I know exactly what a new smile can do. That just perfectly encapsulates his hopes for the future, doesn't it? He possesses a deep, lived empathy for frightened patients. When a nervous kid or a stressed-out adult walks into his community clinic, Marcus doesn't just see teeth that need to be fixed. He sees himself. He knows the fear, and far more importantly, he knows the absolute joy of having that smile completely restored.
I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative thought. While we've been tracking Marcus's highly specific journey into dentistry today, at its core, this is really a story about our universal human need for empathy and restored dignity. So I'll ask you this: who or what restored your confidence when you needed it most, and how can you pass that on to someone else? Thank you so much for joining me today on this explainer. Keep learning, keep focusing, and I will see you next time.